The world we see is shaped twice, first in the mind, then in reality. Before anything exists outside us, it takes shape within. Every design, every word, every choice is born first as an image in thought. And that image, whether fearful or loving, becomes the blueprint of our experience. We like to believe the world is objective, a neutral field that simply happens to us. But perception is not passive, it's creative. What we focus on grows edges. What we ignore fades into background. The world is not what it is. It's what the mind is ready to see. The mind is a sculptor. Every moment, it carves form out of chaos. It filters, frames, highlights, omits. Two people can stand in the same rain and live different weather entirely. One feels trapped beneath the gray. The other feels washed clean. The difference isn't the sky, it's the shape of the thought that sees it. Our thoughts are architecture. They define proportions, establish rhythm, decide how much space we give to fear, how much light we allow for hope. A distorted thought builds walls too close together. A calm thought opens windows. And over time, those invisible designs solidify until what began as perception turns into structure, habit, world. We become what we repeatedly imagine. If the mind rehearses worry, it builds rooms where anxiety lives comfortably. If it rehearses gratitude, it builds openings where joy enters freely. Attention is construction material, and reality follows the architecture of focus. Perception isn't what we see. It's how we frame what we see. Every frame is a choice. The same circumstance can shrink or expand us, depending on the lens we use. A challenge can appear as punishment or preparation. Silence can feel like emptiness or potential. Mind decides the meaning, and meaning decides the world. The calm mind doesn't deny reality. It shapes it with precision. When we're frantic, we misinterpret everything. We see attack and indifference, threat and silence, finality and pause. But when we're still, we start noticing details that agitation hides. The nuance in a tone, the space between two words, the opportunity hiding in delay. Calm perception is intelligence with perspective. To shape the mind is to design the world. The external follows the internal the way shadow follows light. Our reactions, our environments, even our relationships echo the geometry of our inner state. A rigid mind creates tension. A flexible mind allows harmony, and a peaceful mind invites balance to manifest naturally. Every thought leaves a trace, not only in neurons, but in the atmosphere around us. The tone we carry changes rooms. The words we choose alter the air. We think we're just observing reality, but we're constantly bending it around our focus. Awareness of this power is not arrogance. It's responsibility. Attention is the chisel that shapes experience. Where we place it determines what takes form. Fear and beauty both exist everywhere. Attention decides which one grows solid. To train the mind, then, is not to suppress thought, but to direct creation. To pause before, sculpting something sharp and choose, instead to smooth the edge. Everything we build outwardly mirrors something we've built inwardly. First, the architect designs before the structure exists. The musician hears before the note is played. The peaceful person feels calm before the moment becomes calm. It's not magic, it's coherence. The world meets us at the frequency we hold. When we're angry, even kindness sounds false. When we're afraid, opportunity looks dangerous. But when the mind softens, everything begins to rearrange itself around that softness. The same city, the same people, the same day, all feel different when the lens clears, because the world doesn't change. The observer does. To observe is to design. Every time you choose what to focus on, you redraw the boundaries of your world. Look for patterns of threat, and you'll find them. Look for signs of grace, and they'll appear too. Not because the universe bends to wishful thinking, but because perception determines participation. We move toward what we notice. Calm, then, becomes the highest design principle. It's the neutral state from which accurate creation begins. Just as a craftsman must still their hands before precision, the mind must quiet before it shapes meaning. When you think calmly, you see correctly, and when you see correctly, you act with integrity. Reality is clay, and the quality of the sculpture depends on the steadiness of the sculptor's hands. The frantic mind pushes too hard and cracks the form. The calm mind moves with rhythm, not forcing, just guiding. Creation, at its best, is cooperation with reality, not domination of it. Every emotion has architecture. Anger builds fortresses, fear builds mazes, love builds bridges, and calm builds open fields, where everything can coexist without collision. The more we practice inner design, the more the outer world mirrors coherence. The question is not whether your mind shapes reality, it's whether you're shaping it consciously. Each day, we wake with the tools of thought in our hands. We can sculpt complaint or gratitude, resentment or curiosity. We decide the symmetry of our day by the first lines we draw in silence. When you begin to understand this, responsibility turns into power. You stop feeling like life is happening to you and start realizing it's unfolding through you. Every moment becomes material, every breath becomes design. The world starts to look less random and more responsive, a reflection of the form your mind has chosen to hold. Awareness is creative. The more clearly you see, the more harmoniously you shape. And shaping doesn't always mean changing. Sometimes it means allowing. Sometimes the most intelligent design is the one that removes excess, that clears the noise so the essence can appear. So pause often. Observe what you're sculpting inside. Notice the tone of your thoughts, the geometry of your focus. Ask yourself, what shape am I giving to this moment? And remember, the smallest inner shift can redraw an entire horizon. Change the shape of your thoughts, and life reshapes itself. If this moment brought you calm, stay a while, subscribe, and let this space remind you that perception is creation in motion. Every day, we return here to breathe, to shape, and to remember that the mind was never separate from the world. It was always its quiet architect.
This is form within mind, where calm takes shape.